Welcome to the Full Dive Gaming Podcast, bringing you a full dive of all the news, discussion, and insights you need for virtual reality gaming. This podcast is brought to you by Asterion Products. They're a top-selling company on Amazon. They make some really cool VR and AR products, including their Asterion Aura VR headset stand. I'm Jay Bratt. I'm a VR YouTuber and streamer.
I'm Nat Bratt, a VR enthusiast who loves Demio.
Demio is awesome. Well, we have a special guest on the episode tonight, Sarika, aka TrixxieZN on Instagram. Sarika, will you tell our listeners a little about yourself?
Hi there, I'm Sarika, and yes, TrixxieZN is my name on Instagram, and also on the Oculus. I still call it the Oculus. I know it's called the Meta Quest though, but anyway. I'm actually South African, that's why I have an accent. I'm on Horizon Worlds, and I actually live in the United States, and I'm also a mom to a teenager, and yeah, sometimes you might hear me screaming at her in the background, but yeah, that's my life. And I do love VR. It's so much fun because I can escape from her for a little bit.
The unsung benefits of VR, escaping from your children instead of putting your children in the VR. Well, Sarika, we're really excited to have you on tonight to talk about everything. And for those of you out there listening, and if you're new, you don't know our podcast, we're here to keep you up to date in the VR realm. We answer questions from our communities. We give you the latest and greatest VR news, and we discuss the games we've been playing recently. So if you're here listening, check out our YouTube channel if you want to see Sarika over there in case her kid comes running in and messes everything up. Or if you're watching the YouTube, remember that you can listen to us wherever you go. I think we got some questions, Nat.
We do. So our first question, and if you want your question featured on the podcast, check out our Discord. We get all our Q&A questions from our Discord members. So our first Q&A question is from Stegoman. And Stegoman says he purchased Les Mills Body Combat. And Stegoman says the app is great and you really sweat while doing the workouts. They had to make sure not to get too caught up or they can't move at all or can't move well for the next few days. So it sounds like they're getting sore from this. So the question was, do people use actual exercise apps or just use Beat Saber or Pistol Whip and sweat through those? So I love this question. And I actually was going to try this out, but then didn't. I did see, actually, I have to say that Les Mills Body Combat does now have a subscription. You can use it without a subscription, but it sounds like it's pretty limited or more limited if you don't have the subscription. There's like a certain number of workouts you can do with it. But the subscription is required for like getting new content, basically. So does one of you want to start with answering the question?
Sarika, what do you use exercise apps in VR?
I do. Actually, I initially got my Oculus. I still call it that. Sorry, Meta. I actually got it originally for Supernatural because, we've been in quarantine for 2 years. I haven't been in the gym. Well, I did join the gym in May, but I gained 15, 20 pounds in quarantine. And I just gave birth in 2019. So on top of that, it was not a good thing. So I had to start doing something, before, because we're going to eventually come out in the world again. We are right now. But I didn't want to be overweight. So I got it for Supernatural. And I'm actually still a subscriber. So yeah, I do love it. And I lost 15 pounds. So that was cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we do Supernatural too. I really like it. It's been really fun, and I feel like it's also a really good thing for mental health because sometimes I get really stressed out at work, and it is really nice to, at the end of the day, go into Supernatural. It's like, oh, wow, I feel so much better after, spending 15, 20 minutes having a good sweaty workout. So it's really nice. It's really fun. I think that's the only workout app that we have. Jay, do you want to talk a little bit about it too?
It's the only one that we have actively used, although speaking of not being active, I feel like I haven't worked out in the last 3 months hardly at all for whatever reason.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Maybe it's the traveling. I don't know what's been going on with me, but there's other ones out there. There's Fit XR, which we've tried before. But I will say Supernatural is great if you want to get in and work out. Where, in the question, Beat Saber or Pistol Whip, there's other games that you can do and you can not realize you're working out and have a really good time doing it too. So if you're someone that wants to feel like you're working out, a personal trainer is there next to you, and you feel like the motivation of them talking about the good you're doing for yourself, Supernatural's for you. If you want to just have fun gaming and forget that you're exercising, I would say go for Beat Saber or Pistol Whip or something like that, because those games are great for getting you to exercise without realizing that you're, kind of in a virtual reality gym kind of thing.
Yeah, you do have to make sure you're actually moving though, because some of the top Beat Saber players maybe aren't getting a great workout because they just go like this. So
just wave with the wrists. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
Oh
people that are just listening, I guess I should probably say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people just move their wrists and maybe don't get the best workout with that.
Yeah, you got to make it full body if you really want to get the most out of Beat Saber. But yeah, there's a lot more stuff coming in the world of VR fitness. So if you haven't ever tried it, you've been thinking about it, there is a free trial on Supernatural, but make sure that before that trial's over, you stop if you don't want it, because it will start charging you.
True.
We had another question from Polite, and I swore we answered this before, but Polite said, what made you want to start a podcast? So it's kind of an interesting story, because I actually was on the first episode of the podcast, but I was not the original creator behind it. So actually, Rip McAfee, if you listen to the old episodes, used to be our producer. And I actually saw randomly on Reddit a post that was like, hey, I want to start a VR podcast. Is anyone out there that's interested in doing this? And I had always had a curiosity about podcasts. I'd been a YouTuber for, I want to say, about a year at that point. And I messaged him. I was like, hey, I'm starting out on YouTube and I'm interested in this. And 3 years later, here we are, still doing the podcast. I think the podcast has been 2 years now, but it's a lot of fun. And by some accounts, we're one of the top VR podcasts, which shocks me every time I see us on a list that claims that, but we have fun doing it. Yeah. Sarika, there was an interesting reason I wanted to bring you on the podcast, and we're going to get to that a little bit more in the games.
Uh-oh.
But when I told the Discord that you spend time in Facebook Horizons, and I was like, what questions do you want to ask? Tons of questions rolled in.
Really?
So we're gonna try to go quick and get through some of these here. But the first question, Nat, what did Block ask?
Block asked, why do you choose to spend your time on Horizon specifically? And what brings you back to it?
Actually, initially I started on Horizon Worlds because but basically the social aspect of it. I do love the social part of it. I made some friends, and every night at 10 p.m. we'd play a game called Stardust Mafia, and it was like the coolest thing ever. So I just love making friends, and like we hung out in a group, and that was the best part of it. And yeah, I think just the social aspect. I also like that I can interact with the environment, and there's like escape rooms, there's like scary worlds. And even if you don't want to hang out with your friends, because I have a lot of friends who are actually building worlds, so they're quite busy most of the time. Yeah, I tried building last week. It was awful. I'll try again. Yeah, so let's not talk about that. But yeah, so most of my friends are usually quite busy building worlds. And if they need help or sometimes help, like test the world for them, it seems like most of my friends who want to build scary worlds invite me to like test the worlds because I'm a scaredy cat. Yeah, so.
Oh no!
I know. It's like, let's go, Sarika. Like I have a friend who built a world with like a Bigfoot. And she has this black, like very dark cave. And this was before dynamic lighting was a thing. So like we didn't have a torch or anything. We're going to this dark cave and like these noises and like suddenly this Bigfoot runs out at you and I'm screaming.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, there are recordings of that. So yeah, it's kind of, yeah.
What nice friends.
No, they're cool. So yeah, and like I think there's just the whole social part of it. And also because I don't get out much because I have a 3-year-old, it's nice to like talk to someone my age, like at least once a day. And yeah, so
that's important.
Exactly. So that's why I'm in Horizon Worlds at least once a night. Oh, and they do have nightclubs that are really cool. So check the nightclubs out. The club life is quite cool. Yeah. The only bad part is there's no legs yet. So we're just like upper bodies. Like, I know. But I think the other thing that actually like drew me initially before I even like made many friends in Horizon Worlds is that it reminded me a bit of Sims. I was addicted to Sims in the 2000s. Yeah.
I feel like I'm the Sims. Yeah.
So I basically feel like I'm living my best sim life. I'm like a sim in the sim world. So yeah, like
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's exactly why I
you could speak English instead of Simlish or whatever it was.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no simoleons here.
That's awesome.
Simoleons. Yeah, I should try it out. The guy who's this Block. Yeah, check it out. Horizon Worlds is cool.
There's a lot of people out there who are uncertain about Horizon Worlds, so it's always interesting to see. Here's one who has such a positive view of it, and you actually touched on this earlier. But Block also asked, as someone who spends their time in social VR, what's your opinion of VRChat?
Okay, well, I don't really go into VRChat that much. I think I've been on twice. The first time was like, yeah, I had no one with me, so it's just by myself, so I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Scary.
So I go in there and I choose an avatar, and they like, the main avatar screen has like these random weird like alien looking creatures. I felt like I was going to go into a Doctor Who episode. It was so hilarious. And I end up in this world where everything's dark and like people walk, like monsters and people like mingling together, and I didn't understand what's going on, so I left. But today I actually went on with some friends and they were showing me how to clone the avatars and like how to like open portals and stuff. So it's quite cool. But I did find that all the the female avatars are quite sexualized, it seems. Am I allowed to say that word here?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, so like, okay, yeah, but I mean, they look nice, but like, sheesh, it's like, they're just like big butts. Anyway, big boobs and butts. I mean,
you never know what
VRChat.
you'll see in VRChat.
I do like the whole like the environment in VRChat is quite cool. Like I might go back again if I have when my friends are on, but probably not alone because it's kind of scary, I think. Yeah, not like Horizon Worlds where I can be alone and be okay with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. VRChat is a little intimidating for sure. Okay, so our last question from Block. I've always seen Rec Room as the game-driven social platform, while VRChat is the social driven. Where does Horizons fall on the spectrum of Rec Room at one end and VRChat at the other? So where does it fall on the spectrum of like game driven versus social driven?
Okay, so I've actually never been into Rec Room. Would you believe it? I tried logging on once and like I didn't figure out how to make it the avatar, so I just left. But like I think Horizon Worlds has potential because it's still like in early stages, but like the potential is that they're actually allowing some users to monetize their world. So I have friends who basically are getting paid for people who visit their worlds, basically. So that's like gonna like drive user engagement. There are lots of talk shows happening. People there actually, I have friends who have built, who have got business basically. Like one of my friends I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but she's got business with a big company and she built a world for there. And another friend actually, I think I make friends with all the builders for some reason because it's still like so new, so everyone's still kind of friendly. Like I think maybe in a few years' time, like people might separate into like the builders versus the world hoppers, so it might separate into that. But right now the builders seem quite nice, like everyone. So yeah, so I have a builder friend who got like a job. I'm not sure if there's a movie called Nope that's coming out soon. It's called Nope.
Oh yes,
yeah. So
I'm
there's
really
actually
excited
they built a Nope world in Horizon. Actually, it's 2 Nope worlds in Horizon World, so you should go check it out. It has like little Easter eggs of the movie there, so you can go. It looks like it's gonna be a scary sort of movie.
Yeah.
So I went in there and I checked it out. It's actually quite cool. So like so people are actually getting recognition for their work, and it's just like normal people like who can build. So yeah, I think that's where the potential is. Like work potential for that. And also, like the fact that you can socialize with people like, okay, at the moment, Horizon World is only available in USA, Canada, and the United Kingdom. So that's their little, I'd like to say it there. Oh God, what's the word? I actually made a word for it. So funny. Oh yeah, I call it the Horizon City Limits because it's only available there. So good. The Horizon City Limits only, So it's Canada, USA, and United Kingdom. So actually, United Kingdom is only maybe like a month, since they brought them on. Wow. So it's quite nice now because there's people with accents there, except for me, because I was basically the only one and you had an accent and maybe a few other people. But yeah, it's like, so as far as I know, I'm the only South African at the moment in Horizon World. Well, maybe there's some that I haven't met, but maybe using VPNs or something. But yeah, it's quite cool to have other people with accents. So there's lots of British people and I get along with them, I think, because we're like quite similar, British and South African people. So like I made friends with them. Yeah, so I think that the whole like bringing people together from different walks of life and people learn from each other, that's like the best part. Oh, and there's a cool comedy club that lots of people go out. Yeah, you just can meet lots of people there. And it's called the Soapstone. Are we allowed to name drop here?
Yeah,
I'm not affiliated with any of these worlds, by the way. I'm just like telling what I like. Soapstone is quite cool. Yeah, like I have friends who like go there and steal other people's jokes and like make a joke and give them points. And so that's actually monetized as well because like you can sign up to be like it's like I think it's $9.99 a month, like $9.99 once off, not a month. Sorry about that. And you get like membership, it's like a membership to be part of Soapstone.
Oh
and
wow!
It's quite nice. And I got what else was I going to say? I was talking about something. My memory's so bad.
Mine too.
I had so much to say. Wait, I got notes here. Hold on. Oh, I also do love. I like escape rooms. Like since the COVID, I used to go to a thing called Escapology. I think they might be available where you are. I'm not sure, but like it's a quite steampunk vibe kind of escape room thing. So we used to have friends. I haven't seen in like 2 years, but we used to go to the escape room all the time. And now I can do an escape room in Horizon Worlds, and it's like really cool. So I've actually done some by myself. So it's like quite fun to that. What is the question again? Why I'm in Horizon Worlds?
We were talking about where Horizons is on a scale of very game driven to social driven. So it sounds like it's kind of social, more social, more on the social end.
And you talk about there is a lot of games in there too, because I think when I tried it was in beta, and the games that I tried weren't very good. So it sounds like it's come a long ways at least.
It has.
And
try
maybe
Stardust. We can play sometime.
Yeah, okay. That sounds really fun.
And you can record, so you can record the whole game and see what happens,
in case something happens.
For research purposes.
Yes.
So we had a question from Theron who asks, so if someone already plays VRChat, they already have their friends in these other social games, why should they try Horizon? What sets it apart or makes it better, in your opinion, than these other social experiences?
Well, you need to go in and check for yourself. I can't tell you that. Okay, so I really I don't know, as I said, I haven't been on VRChat that much, maybe like twice, but I think a new person would probably prefer Horizon Worlds over VRChat because it is less intimidating than Horizon, than VRChat. Yeah, so as a new VR person, and there are a lot of people now getting up the meta quest, that's what they call them, I think. Yeah, so a lot of people are starting off with Horizon Worlds as their first VR experience. So that's, I think, the good thing. Oh, and also Horizon Venues has merged with Horizon Worlds, so we're getting concerts. On Friday night, we had the Post Malone concert in Horizon Worlds. Yeah.
Wow.
He just dropped a new album and there's a concert. And there was a really cool night because I have maybe 350 friends. And not everyone is on at the same time because everyone has their own life. But that night, I think at least 200 of my friends were online. And I could actually bumped into so many friends I haven't seen so long. And Post Malone was actually an avatar and he was world hopping, taking selfies with people. I didn't meet him though, but yeah, I had a few people on my Facebook show off that they met Post Malone as an avatar. So it's quite
nice.
Cool. So actually, since it's Meta, I think Meta can afford to bring on big players or celebrities into Horizon Worlds, and that's attracting also a younger crowd. And lots of the worlds, even though it says 18 plus, there are worlds that are actually 13 plus, and so there's lots for younger people too. Not that we want them on all the time. I mean, we we prefer the over 21 worlds, But yeah, I did read something that someone brought up today. There's a rating system for the worlds that's going to start, I think, soon. They want to rate worlds according to age. So to keep the kids out of certain worlds, because there are some worlds in Horizon Worlds that kids should not be in. I won't talk about it on this, okay? But yeah, there's some worlds.
That's good. I feel like that's a good thing to have. Because you think of VRChat, there's
I've
some
heard
things
about
that are
some
not
stuff in VRChat.
appropriate for children.
Someone told me there's a world where you can take your clothes. Is that true? I need to find
There's
this
many.
place.
There's many worlds.
Is a very risque place.
Maybe I should check it out. For research purposes, of course. No. Is my husband going to watch this? Oh, God. He's going to be like, you're not allowed to go on anymore.
Maybe we'll have you on again after you've done some research on other things. We'll hear some updates.
I've been to some worlds in Horizon Worlds that are just, over 21 plus. And yeah.
We'll go club hopping. We'll talk about it.
Club hopping is so much fun. Yeah. I do love club hopping.
So we have one last question for you from our Discord. This is from Crow Nation. That says, this is a bit of an open-ended question. What's your idea of a perfect social experience in VR?
Oh gosh. It's such a hard one. So let's see. The perfect social experience. Oh my God. So basically where there's no bullying, I think. Everyone's nice to everyone. Obviously is the perfect word, doesn't happen. But yeah, where everyone's very helpful and friendly and no one's bullying another person. And that's such a weird question. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, yeah, so perfect social. I think I've had a few perfect, I don't know, maybe, okay, on Saturday night, I have a friend I chat to, on Instagram. We, never met in person. They're not even the same in Canada. So, oh God, they're going to watch this and be like, you're talking about me. So I have a friend that we just chat, and they actually, they also build worlds. They have really gorgeous worlds. They build stuff. Oh my God, seriously. I could never do that. But yeah, so when I was by myself on Saturday night, some of my friends are there, so they invited me over to club. There's a new club opening. I went. Then my friends had to leave because they're in the different time zone stories in this country. So they're in a different time zone. They had to go to bed. It was still 10 for me. So I just sent my friend a message on Instagram. I'm actually at this club right now. It's so weird. You're telling so much you're at a club, but you're actually going to head to. Okay, so I'm yeah, I'm in the club, but I'm in my pajamas in bed right now in the club. My daughter's a few feet away from me. That's so hilarious, the virtual reality. And 5 minutes later, I see them come into the world. I'm like, oh my God, it's so cool. This is someone I never met in my entire life. And we just clicked. We world hop. I took them to my friend's scary hallway. Yeah, they was kind of scary. There's video evidence that they scream. As I said, I have some friends, very good friends who build. So I took them to another world, the one with the Bigfoot. And they also they got killed by the, oh sorry, I shouldn't be saying this. Yeah. Anyway, I took them to a place with the Bigfoot and they really liked the world. And to another place that's Middle Ages. It's called a Renaissance Village, I think. Yeah, that's the name. And it's basically a world where you can joust with like you can go on a horse and you can hold these, I think they're called jousting sticks. I don't know what they call. So you can go and you can like, we were fighting each other, and you can, there's archery also, and the bows and arrows are so amazing, they actually work. So there's archery, and you can take pictures as a king and queen on the top, and you can be a peasant and live in a little hut if you want. And there's a fortune teller, and there's this potion that gives you super speed. So that's the stuff we did.
Ooh.
And we actually could not go on because my headset died.
Aww,
but that
sad.
was like one of the nicest nights I had in a long time. Because usually I'm like by myself or something. So like that's cool. Like, so yeah, it's like just having fun with someone you don't really know, but yeah, and getting along. So I think that should be the answer to my question.
Nice.
Well, we'll definitely touch more on Horizon Worlds in the gaming section, but we've got some VR news to discuss tonight, of course. Before we go into the news, we got to tell you about our sponsor. We said a bit earlier, Asterion Products. If you haven't checked them out by now, you got to go on Amazon. You got to check out their Asterion or a VR headset stand. It's the one that you've seen them here in my studio before. If you watch the channel, my headset sits on it. It charges it. It's got RGB colors. You can cycle everything through. It's beautiful. And on Amazon, you can use code FULLDIVE10 and get 10% off if you want to get one. Nat, Facebook has finally done something that people were really hoping for. Do you want to tell us what they're doing?
Yeah, so Meta announced that starting in August, you won't need a Facebook account to use its Quest VR headsets anymore. But there will be a new Meta account that every new Quest owner needs to create once they roll out next month. So people that currently have a device can use their setup until January 1st, 2023. And at that point, they'll need to make a Meta account for the Quest for any future Meta devices. The account itself will be a way to manage, purchase games and apps. And in the words of Meta itself, it's not a social profile.
Yeah, this is something that we've all been waiting for a long time, because they said last year, but they never said until more recently that you'd have to have some other account. But they're saying, don't worry, this isn't Facebook. This isn't your social network. This is just the account you need, just like you need, I don't know, you need like a Netflix account to watch Netflix or something. You know, you have to have an account to use a device of Meta's. This is their ideal replacement for that. I am doing air quotes for those who can't see me right now. But of course, besides that, there's also going to be the accompanying Meta Horizon profile when you create your account, where you'll automatically become a follower of all your Oculus friends you already had, and they'll follow you. But you can, of course, unfollow them. So
doesn't sound at all like having a Facebook account connected to it.
At least it's not your actual Facebook. Sarika, you've had a Quest a while. Did you care that you had to connect it to your Facebook?
Not really, because I do have a Facebook account, because like I just have one for like years, and I just have lots of stuff there. I think I was 2006 Facebooks. I think from that. That's how long it is. Yeah, so I didn't actually care that I need an account, but yeah, except I forget my password half the time. But no, I do actually. It's bad. But yeah, I don't actually get like much Facebook stuff on my Oculus. I don't know, like since I don't actually go into my Facebook account as much, I actually haven't noticed like ads and stuff for the Oculus. So I don't know, it doesn't actually make a difference to me. But yeah, but I did notice, the followers versus friends thing. That's like. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I like that so much. I mean, I like having friends, and that's a good thing, because everyone feels like everyone feels like they're on the same level. But not like, Instagram, you have followers, and Facebook is friends. I noticed that if you call someone a follower, there's like less chance they might follow you, because I think it's sort of like a hierarchy thing. So that's gonna be like, I don't know. I might lose friends.
I see what you're saying with that. It is kind of weird. Oh, follow me.
I don't like telling people to follow me. I don't know. I think if you like want to follow me, you need to offer someone something, like, I don't know, like be a leader or something. But yeah, and I think this is how they're going to sort of create how Instagram had like the Instagram models, like, they started off Instagram models. So I think eventually you're going to have something called a meta influencer, and this is how it's going to start with the follower count, followers. Mm-hmm. And that's like, I don't know if I like that part. Unless I get lots of followers and like whatever.
I hate influencers unless I am one.
Yes.
You make a good point though, because it's funny. Everybody wants to have friends. No one wants to be followed in real life though. Like when someone's following you, that's a lot different than having a friend. If you're walking down the street and being followed. So it does have a different connotation to it. I think that this is news that is sort of welcome, because I know people who didn't get a Quest 2 because they didn't want to tie it to their Facebook. And so, yes, Meta is saying you can make extra meta accounts. You can make one that's just for your gaming. You can make one if you do want to do the social networking. They're at least giving you that option, unlike before, where if you tried to make a fake Facebook and they found out, they would brick your device and you'd lose all your games. So at least they are taking a small step, but it's not the big step we were all hoping of, complete anonymity in VR. They're still saying you have to have some kind of an account tied. So I think it's a little, but it's not a lot.
Yeah. I think everyone was hoping that, like, oh man, you're just going to have the headset and it's going to be totally not tied to anything else. I do kind of get it because like having the Meta account with your headset, then when you have that, you can like log in and out of different headsets and stuff. So it kind of makes sense. But I know, like you were saying, I think people wanted to just have nothing tied to it so they could have anonymity. So yeah, it's definitely not quite, I think, what people wanted. And I think you make some really good points, Sarika, about the followers and stuff. Like that'll be a really interesting thing that'll be brought in. And I really agree with you that it's just kind of funky to be like, follow me instead of be my friend. Like, friend seems more social and nice and not, I do see what you're saying about like the hierarchy kind of thing. It is like, yes, so I think that's be my follower.
Yeah. I think that's where it's going to be like, you get the people who like call themselves, there are lots of people in like Horizon Worlds who are like, I think they're like better than other people. Not a lot, but I mean, because they build lots of worlds. So they probably like wouldn't follow just the world hopper because we like just hop worlds. We don't like worlds. So it's like, it's probably going to like, that's going to cause some drama eventually. But yeah, hopefully my friends follow me. Hopefully.
You've got your group of friends already. So you're starting out in a good place.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see. This is supposed to roll out next month, so we'll keep you all posted as we hear more out there. In other news of maybe too little, too late, there's a company called Nofio. They're an Australian-based company, and they're going to build a wireless adapter for the Valve Index. Now, it's supposedly launching a Kickstarter campaign soon, and it's just kind of funny because this is 3 years later into the Valve Index's life. And yes, it's still a somewhat commonly used PC headset. People love the Valve Index. I had one for a while. It's a really nice headset, but it's so odd that like now they're saying they're going to launch this wireless adapter so you can play your Valve Index wireless when we're all sitting here waiting for Valve to come out with their next headset. Most of us are also hoping that headset is wireless. So it could be because Nofio had to wait for Wi-Fi 6 to come out. You know, it wasn't fast enough. There was too much latency, but they're basically saying they're going to have this device. The receiver, it's going to weigh about 200 grams. It's going to have an included battery that will last for 2 hours, but you can swap it out with your own battery pack. And there's no price yet, but it's probably about $450 for this device that then makes your Valve Index wireless. So you got to pay the $1,000 for your Valve Index and another $450 to make it wireless.
What?
Sarika, you've only done Quest 2 wireless VR, right?
Yes.
Have you ever done wired VR at all?
No, nothing.
So can you try to imagine, for those people who have used a Valve Index all this time, they have a cable tying them to some part of the room that they're dealing with.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it's tough. So there is a crowd that wants this, but would you pay $1,500 for a good PC headset that is also wireless instead of your Quest?
No. I'd rather get another Quest or like the upgraded version that comes up for $700. I heard.
Yeah, 6 Quests.
How would you do Supernatural while you wire it to something? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a reason they use that? Is that because of the Steam games or something?
It's the best headset experience is what they say. You have a little wider field of view. It's got nice screens, but a big thing is Beat Saber players who want to be pros use this headset because it has pretty much perfect tracking, unlike the Quest 2 where sometimes your hands get a little weird and run from you or something. But it's also it didn't take Facebook. You didn't need Facebook to use a Valve Index.
Oh, okay.
So that too has helped it stay more relevant and popular over these last 3 years. But it is wild to think that something is coming this late in the game for it. And it's not even out yet. They're saying they're going to launch a Kickstarter for this thing. So that means it's still going to be a little while before this comes out.
No.
This is strange. I do not understand.
It's very 2020. Like,
yeah. Like this is expensive, extremely expensive. 200 grams is not nothing. I guess that's not adding too terribly much. So that's a pretty good added weight. I wonder, did you see where it's going to be? Is it like on the back or the side or the top, or do we know? Like where?
I don't know that they've, from what it looks like you can kind of hang it from the back, so it will be a counterweight. But obviously, since it's still Kickstarted, nothing's finalized. I mean, things could change, but it does look like at least they've designed it to hang around the back of your head. So at least it's not hanging down, but you have to run it to a battery still. And so if you run that in your pocket or something, you are dealing with a short wire, unless you just use their included one, it looks like. But these designs aren't final, so it's hard for me to say.
This is
weird.
Just weird. It's just weird. I feel like people that currently have that headset maybe would get it, because I think those are like the enthusiasts that are willing to spend that money. So maybe, $400 extra, like, meh, whatever. So I guess there's a market for it, but if a new headset comes out, maybe not. And what if a new one comes out soon? Although it's been 3 years, so maybe there will never be another one.
Yeah, we don't know, but it is a thing. So for people who've only ever had a Valve Index, they've never experienced fully wireless VR. So maybe for them, this sounds like an amazing proposition to get this device and now finally be wireless like they wanted to. Those of us who are used to being wireless, it's hard to imagine going back, but there are a lot of people that have only ever used the Valve Index and they love it and they want this. So maybe there's a market for it. I just fear, like, if I had an Index right now, I'd be like $450. I'm going to save that money for Valve's next headset, because there's all these rumors that something's coming. We just haven't seen any actual proof yet. But I mean, $450, hopefully that's almost half of a new headset. So,
or more than enough for a Quest. But I don't think that Valve Index users would want a Quest. They would see that as a downgrade. So maybe this is like, I feel like this kind of reminds me of I'm trying to think of what it's called, the old video game console that had all the stuff that you would add to it. You had one of them,
the Sega Genesis.
Yes,
and
the
then
Sega
you
Genesis,
put a
and you have
32X in it.
they had all the things that you plug onto it while better consoles were coming out, and then it just was all this freaking weird console thing that had that just looked terrible, and there's all these better consoles that you could just get instead. Like, that's kind of what it's making me think of.
Yeah, it's weird timing.
We keep talking about how we haven't had a lot of forward movement in the VR headset realm for a while. So we can never know what'll happen. But this will be interesting.
I just want a headset that's light, because I have a small head, as you can see. I have a nice headband strap thingy, and I still feel like I get a headache. So I usually have to tie my hair up with a buff, and then that adds some resistance in the back, and then it sits better. Otherwise, it just slides off my head. So annoying.
Yeah.
So
too much weight is
a lighter one.
Well, we've talked a little bit about Horizon already, but we're going to actually talk about our game section, of course. Before we do, got to tell you one last time, Asterion Products. If you've listened to the podcast for this long and you haven't checked them out, go to AsterionProducts.com. Check out their different products. They have a headphone stand, of course, the VR headset stand we told you about. And they've had a VR mat that we actually have one of. If they're back in stock, they sold out pretty quick, but their Origins mat, really cool. $5 off any order, $19.99 by using the code FULLDIVE, one word there, on their website. So we touched on Facebook Horizon Worlds in the questions section, because everybody in the Discord had questions when they found out you play that, because apparently they think no one does.
They were very excited.
For our listeners out there who haven't heard of it, it's basically Facebook's version of VRChat or Rec Room. It's a social hub that has mini games in it that you can go to with your friends. Sarika, you play this almost nightly, is that correct?
Well, I don't play games as much anymore, but yeah, I do go into Horizon Worlds all the time. I used to play games nightly, in the beginning. I started off in Feb, and I played maybe for 2 months straight every night. But yeah, there are lots of games. It depends what you're looking for. There are lots of people actually play something called Arena Clash. It's like shooting and stuff. I don't like violence, but it's kind of fun if you have good friends to play with. It's actually really lots of fun. And they even had tournaments and stuff. So there are prizes. They have people who compete in these games and stuff. So yeah, so it depends what kind of game you're looking for, but there's a game for every person, I think. So just have to search for the game you're looking for. But yeah.
Interesting. Because I hadn't heard of it having any sort of shooters or any guns or anything like that actually work.
No,
Because
they
Facebook
do.
is very careful. Facebook's very careful about that kind of stuff typically
That's
too.
true.
There's guns, seriously. It's like, I was surprised too. Some of them are huge, like, it's like big ones.
You are making me curious. I'm going to be honest. Like, for those of you out there listening,
I told you to come check out Horizon Worlds. Like, seriously, I've been telling you for months.
I know. I think this is finally the time where now we're actually going to have to do it because you've said so much about it. But
like
I have high hopes
we're going to have to have an update episode where we check out all this stuff and talk
go World Hop for a bit and then come back and like talk about it. Yeah.
Well, we also got you to come with us into Altspace recently. So for those of you out there who haven't heard of Altspace is actually kind of one of the OG social apps in VR. It was out back on Gear VR was actually when I tried this. So Gear VR, for those of you who don't know, that was where you stuck your Samsung phone into a big piece of plastic headset that you then put on your face and you did this VR that was not very good VR, but it was what we had at the time. That was like 2015. Wow. And Altspace looks totally different now. Yeah. Altspace looks totally different. Yep. VR goes way back.
Okay.
What was your impressions, Sarika, of Altspace for someone who has spent a lot of time in Horizon?
Well, Altspace is another place I haven't been to like that for maybe 5 times at least. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I do like that it's available worldwide, it seems, because there's lots of foreigners there. And so you can talk to people they speak different languages. And since it's available worldwide, it's usually busy all the time because there's also like everyone's in different time zones. So there's always someone there. But it seems like I don't know how to actually find walls there. I tried searching. And the only place I could find every time I go there is this place called the Campfire. And that's where everyone seems to congregate. So I made maybe like 3 friends the other day. I just went on to check it out, for research purposes. So I made like a few new friends. And one of them told me you can actually like have something called fly mode on. I did not know that. So apparently you can fly. And I turned it on. And I flew up into this tree and there's little snowballs there. And I was throwing snowballs at people. It was so funny. Oh, that's great. But I did enjoy that party we went to. It was like for your friend Tony Stark. So he's like a meta celebrity or something. I don't know.
So this guy Tony Stark VR, you can look him up on Instagram. So he hangs out in Altspace and kind of the persona Tony Stark, but hangs out in Altspace. He's always posting pictures of him with all these random people on Instagram.
No, it's all bikini-clad women.
Altspace. Yes, yes, I wasn't going to say it, but a lot of bikini-clad women on Instagram. He had asked if I would attend his birthday party. And of course, I, being, the social butterfly that I am, didn't want to go by myself. So I got Nat and then Sarika here to come with me. What did you think of the birthday party?
You asking me or her?
I'm asking both, but let's start with you since you spoke first.
Okay, so actually, Altspace is cool. I do like the environment, the colors, and how everything blends nicely, but I do hate the avatars there. I mean, what's up with the square jaw? I only have the jaw, I only have 3 choices between jaw shapes, and I look like a man. I went back and I changed it though. I look a little bit better, but I don't like the avatar. So I think my self-esteem is quite low in Altspace because I think I look not that cute. So seriously.
They do not have a lot of options for that.
I know, and the clothing too is apparently you can actually buy designer clothes there, which is actually very cool. I haven't actually tried that, but the actual clothing in Altspace is kind of blah to something I never wear. But the good thing about I didn't learn actually at the party is that people can buy clothing made by other designers in Altspace, and you can travel between worlds with the same clothing, which is actually very cool because you can't do that in Horizon Worlds yet. And I have friends who are designing clothing. I tried actually designing clothing last week. We won't talk about that.
Ooh,
it's actually a fashion show happening in Horizon Worlds, but we're not talking about Horizon Worlds. So so in Altspace you can design clothing. If you could, the other people obviously can do it, and you can buy it. I'm not sure how much it actually costs. Someone said it's between $10 and $50 or something. So you can actually take the same clothes. You can use it. I guess that's where all these bikini-clad women are getting the bikinis from. So you can actually use the clothing and world hop in it. So it's not like you're stuck just wearing that the outfit in one space. So you can actually use it all over. So I think that's actually a good deal. And the other thing I liked about it is that there's lots of events that happen there too. It seems like because I have been to an event there, and the part that you can fly. That's actually really cool. You can't fly in Horizon Worlds. You can't even walk. Well, you can, but no legs. But
you can float.
You can just float, But if you want to fly in Horizon Worlds, usually it's you have to eat something or pay for something. It depends, to actually have that option. But I did like the flying part, and the snowballs is cool. So there's lots of interactive stuff in Altspace. And maybe I'll go and check it out once I have some clothes to flash around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Did
yeah,
you
like,
like they had alcoholic beverages
I do,
at
hey?
the party, which I thought those were pretty fun. Did you have any of those
I
during the
did.
party?
I had,
Those were
yeah,
fun.
and
You
it's,
could drink them.
yeah, without adding any calories to your diet. Yeah, 0 calorie alcohol. You don't get drunk.
You can't taste it, but you can pretend. And it was also funny that if someone got close to you, it was like, I don't know if they grabbed it or what, but like
Oh,
I
yeah.
would have a drink and then someone would come near me and then the drink would be gone. I'm like, wait, did you just drink my drink?
Thieves. Thieves. Also, that
So
cake
that
was
was
so
pretty
cool. I think the cake with the girl, the dancing girls coming out,
Yes.
that was like fun, yeah.
Yes. There was a big, huge cake. There were dancing girls. The dancing girls did not look like the avatars.
They didn't, yeah. They had cute outfits. They were short too.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was not a huge fan. I was really interested to see that Altspace was very different, but I think I was mainly just not a huge fan of the party aspect because I don't think that's really my thing anyway. So I don't spend a lot of time in like the social VR apps. Like Rec Room was the main one that I've done, but that was like I would go in with friends. I have never gone into any social VR app and been like, I'm gonna go by myself and meet
I
people.
do that.
No. I don't like that. That's scary to me. And for some reason, like you'd think that it would be less scary when you're an avatar because like it's not actually like you or anything. But I feel more awkward and weird. I'm like walking around, I'm like, I can't see people's actual facial expressions. I don't know what they're thinking. We're all in these weird, like some people are really close and some people are far away, and I don't know. And I'm just like, what? And so I felt extremely awkward. And like whenever someone would try to come up and talk to me, I'd be like, I don't know what to do.
So that's
And
why
so
you're hiding
like
in the cake. You were hiding
yes,
inside the cake.
that's why I hid in
Oh.
the cake. But that's another reason why the cake was nice because it was huge, so you could hide in it. So I liked that. And the other thing about like the alcoholic beverages in there, they don't actually do anything.
True.
So
Yeah.
like you don't have that helping you with interacting with people. And like I also when I am in like situations like that in real life, I'll like get food or drink so I can kind of like interact with that instead of which helps me talking with people because I have like something in between me and the person, and that isn't the same in a virtual space. So yeah, I was not a huge fan of that, but I think it's just again because the party thing was not my kind of scene. But it was pretty cool. I am excited to check out Horizons because I think that maybe I tried it like one time, like really briefly, but it sounds cool that you can like make the avatars better.
Yeah.
And like they can be
Look more
more
like
like,
you.
what you actually look like instead of like a weird square jaw like you were saying. And it sounds like there's a lot of cool stuff to do. So although we didn't do that much in Altspace, we were pretty much just at that one like event.
That's the thing about Altspace. I actually have no idea how to like go to worlds there. Like unless you have a friend who knows what to do, it's like kind of hard to like navigate compared to other
it's
places.
not super user friendly for sure. It used to be so much different. It had like a theater thing that you could walk around and you could like I think there was like an art thing, but you could see like was that the beginning of NFTs? It had like things the people I don't know, but it was much different.
It had lots of things apparently.
It had things
this thing and that
stuff.
thing and yeah, well it's come a long ways since the Gear VR days, and it's interesting because it seems like with these social apps overall, you have people that pretty much have their social app. You meet VRChat people, you meet Rec Room people, you meet apparently Horizon people, and then you meet Altspace people.
Horizon people.
And they don't necessarily all use all these other apps all the time. You kind of find the one you like for whatever reason, and you kind of stick to that one, which I find interesting. And I think the one I've spent the most time in by far is Rec Room. Mm-hmm. And I'm interested now that it sounds like Horizon has come a ways to check more out.
That's why I never see you online. You're always in another world.
I don't spend as much time in social VR as maybe I would like to. I feel like so often if I get into VR, I'm doing Supernatural, playing some quick Beat Saber, or I'm trying out some game or something. But I don't do the social stuff as much as you do, obviously.
I think I have to do it because, like, since I'm a mother and I'm at home, that's like, besides going to gym and socializing, that's the only other social aspect in my life right now. So yeah,
well, that's good. It's there for you.
I'm like dying to socialize.
Yes. Well, speaking of socializing, Sarika, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on here. If people hear this podcast and they want to come find you, follow you, you know, be all scary, where can they go to find you?
Oh, well, I am actually on the as you know, is it called MetaQuest? Yeah, so my name there is actually the same as my Instagram handle. It's TrixxieZN. I say it's Trixxie with a silent ZN because the ZN is like just added on. But yeah, so and my Instagram handle is also at TrixxieZN. My husband told me not to say it's Trixxie because it sounds like a stripper. Sorry, husband. Yeah. It's a long story. Why they call me that? It's not a stripper name where I'm from. I keep telling him that, okay? So yeah, it's TrixxieZN, and that's Instagram, and it's Twitter, but I haven't been on Twitter in like 2 years, so don't look for me on Twitter. Instagram, and yeah, if you find me on the Oculus. Sorry, I keep calling it Oculus. My daughter calls it Oculus. Everyone knows what you're talking about. Yeah, like she's like, put my hands in front of my eyes and I have my Oculus. That's what my daughter does. So funny.
And are you gonna start like designing fashion and horizons?
I tried last week Sunday. So one of my friends who is a builder, she like helped me a bit. Oh my God, it's so hard. We spent 2 hours and we made a dress. I think I posted pictures on Facebook and Instagram. Ooh. It's a dress, the purple dress with the big, the circle things.
Nice.
It's on Instagram, but yeah. But it looks cute, but it took a long time and I didn't do much work. I was just standing and watching. I was like, it's so hard. Then I tried to make a lipstick and it looks hideous, my lipstick. So I tried the lipstick. I built some pillars and they're floating about in my empty wall. So yeah, that's my life right now. The wall topping is easier. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a lot of fun. We'll make sure there's links in the description or show notes if you want to find Sarika, aka Trixxie, and go hang out in Horizon Worlds.
Yeah, come. Yeah. Take that out.
No, it's in for life. Yeah. And if you want to chat more, you can join our Discord server. Obviously, that's where our Q&A questions came from tonight. You can talk to us about the podcast, influence the future of it. You can go a step further and find us on Patreon and help support paying for the podcast. It actually pays for most of the costs of the podcast right now as it stands from our current patrons. So thank you so much to those of you out there. And rate, review, subscribe. Obviously, that helps out the podcast too. But hey, we want to say thank you for being here with us. And when it comes to VR, you know what you got to do? Just got to dive on in.
Dive on in.